Welcome to LifePatch, your motivational voice. Today, the topic is on choice. Choice is one of your greatest gifts. Is having the free will to make a decision, to choose. Why? Think about it simply. There are places in this world, in some countries, where people cannot vote. People cannot make certain choices. Otherwise, their consequence is what? Prison or death. So choice cannot be taken for granted because we have a choice. We can choose how we feel. We can choose how we internalize things. You see, no one has the right to make you feel inferior without your consent. Nobody can make you feel dumb or stupid or less than who you are unless there is some truth to it, unless there is a crack in your armor. Now, if you get mad and blame it on that person who says or mentions something that hurts you, step back and ask yourself if that statement is true or not. If it's not true, you must learn to lean on your peace, on the truth, and not let it rock you or affect how you react back. Because if it's not true, why should you get mad? Why should you overreact? It's a waste of your energy. You must know yourself and be honest with who you are and who you are not. Because anytime, whenever somebody makes a statement that hurts you or that makes you feel stupid or dumb, again, nobody can truly make you feel a certain way unless there's a crack in your armor. And if there is, then be thankful, because what that has done is that has revealed or identified or reminded you of something that you need to work on to improve. Now, if you truly know that you are a good person, for example, then it doesn't matter what any of the critics say about you or about what you're doing. Those who see you as a good person, right? That's just a bonus. Those that are nice to you, that are good to you, those people are just a bonus to your life. Now, for those that see you as a bad person or what you're doing as a bad thing, simply put, it's their loss. It's their loss. Stop chasing after these negative people. Stop trying to prove anything to them. It's a waste of time. And just focus on what you can control. Going back to choice, we can choose how we respond back to life, to conversations, to events. You see, life isn't so much about what happens to us, because crap, pain, suffering, at one point, sooner or later, we all go through a dark time. Disappointment, we all go through it over and over. But what's going to separate you into greatness is how will you respond when things don't go your way, when the world seems against you, when somebody who you are expecting disappoints you, hurts you. How will you respond in a nurturing, positive way that will set you forward? Not tomorrow so much, but the next week, the next month, but down the road. Always keep this in mind. When you are down, negative people will eat you and positive people will feed you. I'll say it again. When you are down, negative people will eat you and positive people, they will feed you. That makes sense, right? So keep it simple like that. Hang out, spend your time, be selective with who you spend your time with, because your dreams are worth it, your health is worth it. And we can choose to see good out of every situation. It's very simple, because the other opposite scenario, it's pretty bad, right? If we choose to see the bad out of every situation, what happens? Well, we know it's depressing, it's self-destructive, and it's also poisonous to those around us and to those that we love. I have this saying that I took from other different versions, and it goes, if life throws you bricks, build a castle. If life throws you dirt, make a garden. If life throws you crap or shit, use it as fertilizer to your garden. Choice. That's the topic today. So choose. Make a choice to choose to work hard. The harder you work, the more options you will have. The harder you work, the more options you will have. The harder you work, the easier things will become. The harder you work, the more amazing and great people you will meet. And the harder you work, the more out of life you will experience. For example, when I was writing my first novel, Dead Promise, the odds were against me. And I've mentioned this in my other track, right? I came here when I was 5 years old as a refugee. My parents are not educated. I didn't know anybody who's published or written a book before. But I got to a point where I simply did not care. I stopped staring at how big the mountain was, because that's what most of us do. Most of us just stop and just pause and gaze and just be overwhelmed by how big this mountain is and whatever this mountain represents to you. Let me implore you, instead of just staring at the brick wall or at the big mountain, start training, start walking up the mountain. There is no elevator up the mountain. There is no elevator up the mountain. The mountain doesn't care who you are or what your background is. If you're Asian, Caucasian, African, Australian, Russian, European, boy, girl, what your history is, the mountain does not care. It's still gonna make you earn it. So I was able to get my first novel published because simply I was not willing to stop. I was not willing to give up, and I was willing to do whatever it took, step by step, to climb up the mountain. Sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's just an inch, but that's progress. That's progress. You see, only the few who has gone up and made it to the top of the mountain can truly know the beauty of the view. And until you are up there, it's so hard. Even if you describe it to somebody, they will not know that feeling. So when you get to the top of that mountain, that feeling is priceless. It's priceless. And part of it is your mind has to be at the top of the mountain first before your body. And if your mind is on top of that mountain every day, frequently, then your body will find its way up that mountain so that the body and the mind can finally be in one place. Choose to expand your comfort zone. So, comfort zone, right? There's a lot of actual discomfort in your comfort zone. And let me put it in this illustration for you. How do you grow? How do you expand your comfort zone? Now, imagine if your comfort zone is a bubble. So let's call it your comfort bubble. And then, around your bubble, there are other bubbles around you. And let's say there's a green bubble, it's called education. and that may represent your bachelor's degree, your master's degree. Then there's another bubble. It's a blue bubble, and it's called art. And art, in this case, could mean to you, writing, singing, painting, whatever it is that you are aspiring to be. And then there's a yellow bubble, and this is exercise, right? Just taking care of yourself. Now, your comfort zone needs to grow and needs to touch and merge into each of these bubbles at first, right? So what's going to happen is that your comfort bubble, it's small. There's these surrounding bubbles next to you. The goal is to expand your comfort bubble so that it swallows, right? It merges and swallows these other bubbles completely. And once it does that, guess what happens? These other bubbles now becomes your comfort bubble, becomes your comfort zone. So if you approach it that way and merge and swallow these other bubbles, then eventually your comfort zone has expanded. And this new job is now a part of your comfort zone. This new skill is now part of your comfort zone. This writing a book has become part of your comfort zone, and so forth. So that is one of the key choices to making a choice. Did you hear that? You have to make that choice though. Nobody can make it for you but you. Another key item here is choose to fight the fights that are worth fighting. Right? Pick your battles wisely. You only have so many hours in a day, so much energy in a day. So make sure that whatever fights you are in, that they are truly worth fighting for. So you don't need to get into every argument that you're invited into. You don't need to get into every problem. You don't need to get into every stressful event. You don't have to participate. And I get it. There are some times that you have no choice but to battle and to argue. But keep this in mind. It takes two fools to argue. So make sure that whatever fight you are fighting for is worth it. A part of it is protect your center of gravity. I call that your peace. I believe everybody in their core is this peace. And your peace is what keeps you in check, in balance. Emotionally, spiritually, physically. So don't let anybody rock your peace. Protect it. Hold on to it, because it is going to hold you and be your fortitude as you strive towards growth, as you strive towards the discomfort, as you strive towards your goals. Is hold on to, protect your center of gravity. Very simple. If you don't, and that center of gravity in you gets rocked, you are more susceptible to get hurt and to fall, sideways, back, forward. That's my point. And then last item for today's topic, this is all encompassing with a choice, is choose to believe in you. You have to be your biggest fan. You have to be your own coach. You have to be your own therapist. Believe in you, in your gifts, especially in your dreams and goals. Look, there's no one else in the world like you. Right now, there's about 7 billion people, and there's no one like you. Your DNA is of your own. Your fingerprint is of your own. There is no one like you. It doesn't matter if there are 70 billion or 100 billion people, there's still no one like you. So what that means is that I believe, every individual has a unique gift. And this gift will change your life, as well as others in this world. But this gift that's in you, it's like a seed with a hard shell. You are its caretaker. You are the owner of the seed. You are the farmer of this seed. So you must do what? Nurture it, protect it, develop it. Because one day this gift that is in you will grow so big that the world cannot ignore it. This gift is what? It's what makes you come alive. It's what wakes you up instead of coffee or energy drink. This gift is what makes your heart come alive. And if you're going through tough times, tell yourself, remind yourself, you're never failing so long as you are doing something. We know this, but as a reminder, the recipe of greatness and success, part of that is failing, disappointment. It's all part of the ingredients. And there's times where I've gone through this myself. When things get hard, this comes back to believing in yourself. It's even harder when you're trying to do something and there's no one close to you that has done it before. All that means is that it's you who must do it. It's you who must be the first one to do it. Don't wait for anybody else. That's too easy. You must pave this path up the mountain for your family, for your friends, for your community. You must pave this path through the forest. And like I said in my other track, if you don't see any light in the darkness, why is that? That's because you are the light, and someone is waiting, depending on your light. So stop stalling and stop waiting until someone else does it first. Keep going. Again, if it's 1 inch at a time, that is progress. I'll give you a quick example. Sometimes we have to go back a bit or go in reverse. So imagine like a car. Sometimes we must go in reverse in order to do what? In order to go forward better. At the end of your life, let me ask you, what is your story? How will your story be told? Either you will be the background in someone else's story, or you are the main character of your own story. No one can make that choice but you. So choose. Choose these choices today, every day. And over time, you start to see the difference in your life. Until next time, choose wisely. And if you're not sure, choose in yourself first. Love yourself, and know who you are. Hold on to your peace, protect it, and choose to believe in your gifts.